Why did UAE Emirates sign Adam Yates, the longtime foe of Pogacar in the UAE Tour, who's had some success at Ineos, particularly in 21, but also some frustrations in not going to plan in Grand Tours for him, which he's been trying to put together for a number of years, or best part of his career? Here's one reason, main reason, I think, which is to win World Tour or .pro stage races, just to be another GC contender. Here you can see him in Deutschland Tour, 2.pro race. I would not be surprised. This is the main Queen stage of the race. You see Formula attacking the Schanzland climb. Yates just absolutely cooked everybody. Played with his food a little bit for a couple of Ks and then was like, it's been nice. I'll be seeing you. Decent watts on this too, actually. Like, I think close to 6.3 for 30 minutes, which is, for a .pro race, that is fast. Bilbao went pretty fast too. Of course, not the hardest stage beforehand. But anyway, they've signed Yates because I think they want to score more points. They also didn't win that many stage races outside of Pogacar this year, despite having Ayuso, Almeida, Soler, Bennett. You know, they didn't win Catalunya. They didn't win Romandie or Swiss or a lot of the other races that Pog, Jonas, or Roglic weren't at. Like Almeida went to Paris-Nice with McNulty. I can't remember, but I don't think they podiumed. And those guys are very consistent. But perhaps Yates is a little bit more likely. Well, you'd think so, but then you look through his results, and he's actually only won one World Tour stage race in Europe. He won UAE Tour in 2020 ahead of Pogacar when they had her feet twice, and he put a fair bit of time onto him the first time. And he won Catalunya, which we'll look at in a second, last year. 2021 was a good year for Yates, but on his day, Sols, the Slovenians, or Vingegaard in the right stage race with a pure mountaintop finish with low sort of calories or kilojoules beforehand, he is very, very dangerous, as we saw in Catalonia last year, where he won easily. Like, there was no one even close to him. I think this was Volta 2000 or Pordenay the next day. He cooked everyone. UAE Tour in 2020, he cooked everybody. And to be honest, he was stronger than Pogacar in 2022, I think, this year as well. He just had the TT deficit and the draft's important. So there's that, but I also wanted to discuss, could it be, with the Vuelta having not worked out for him where he should have podiumed, but for tactics issues, could he be the Rafael Micah replacement? Like, you see, he's tried, like Micah did, to really break through in Grand Tours in GC, and it's not worked out for him. Like, I don't think he's ever won a Grand Tour stage. He came ninth in the Tour this year, and Ineos didn't match him. Micah had a similar story when he was on Bora Hansgrohe, and for sort of the 17 to 19 years, and then he's had a really nice second wind as the premier mountain domestique for Pogacar. But he's 3 years older than Yates, so is that the role they're thinking he could be? Is it a combination? And you think, well, Almeida's a little bit younger. They signed him as well. He's a similar profile to Yates. Well, Yates is more aggressive on climbs. Almeida's more of a diesel. But we saw in UAE Tour this year, Almeida shut down her feet for Pogacar. You see here, Pogacar's in a seat behind Yates, and it really shut down that climb and helped Pogacar a lot. Could Yates be in that role as a mountain domestique? I don't know, because a lot of the riders keep getting signed by UAE, and you think, oh, okay, they'll slot into that role as a domestique. And usually with Pog they do, but like Soler, Almeida, Ayuso, they've all got a lot of opportunities, but there are only so many. So it will be, I don't know, like what Yates has been promised. I would assume he has been promised 1 week leadership, at least co-leadership in all races that don't have Tadej Pogacar lining up. But this is the big one. Yates, unlike Simon Felipe, his brother, he is an elite hilly one-day racer. And Simon Yates got the better stage race Palmares. But this is Milano Torino 2021. Yates is excellent in the Italian Classics, elite in those races. He was Ineos' best rider in them. And Milano Torino finishes on Superga, and it doesn't need to be a long climb. He came seventh in Quebec, fourth in Montreal, probably the strongest in Montreal this year. On that's just a hilly parcours, like a puncher's parcours, and Milano Torino's harder than that, and probably the strongest on the climb. And then it flattens out at the end, and Roglic cooked him in the sprint. They did big watts on the Superga. I'm not sure if this cracked the top 10 of the climbing performances. And then Lombardia, he came third, beat Roglic in the sprint. I think Masnada and Pogacar won that race. But the reason I bring up the one days is Pogacar he's won Lombardia twice. He can't do every one day every year. Maybe he can, but maybe he'll want to do the Giro one year and then he can't do Liège. Or maybe he wants to do Amstel. Maybe he wants to focus on RVV. Maybe he wants to do the Vuelta and can't do Lombardia. And I think unlike Almeida, who hasn't shown Yates' ability in the one-day races, Yates really adds a top hilly one-day racer to that team. And whereas Vine as well, Vine's more of a stage racer. Wellens hasn't shown it in the one days. Ayuso, I think, can. I think Ayuso already, we see a Laguelia Drome Classic. He will be an elite one-day racer at Lombardia, but he hasn't shown it yet. So, and it'll be better to pair him with the Yates, Ulisi, Formulo. Well, Ulisi's definitely getting older. So that's where I see Yates slotting in and being a real addition is the one days. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment down below another signing or rider you want a little mini profile like this of, and I'll pump it out. Until then, ciao.